Hi, Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising. This is going to be your February 2023 general reading. For those of you who are new to my channel, or you're a new subscriber, or you just happen to be stumbling by and find this, welcome. For those of you who've been with me since the beginning, thank you for sticking around. This is a general reading and the messages will not resonate with everyone. I do suggest that if you are Taurus Sun and the story you don't understand it, or whatever the case may be, or you want more information, do check back to your moon and rising signs. That's always pretty helpful. In order to gain any insight into your own situation requires a personal reading. And I am still doing personal readings even though I no longer have my website up, okay? And so if you'd like to get a personal reading, you can contact me at the email address there that you see at the bottom of the corner. Go over to the About box section of my channel, and there you will find the reading packages, which is going to tell you the length of time, the number of questions that you can pose in that length of time, and then the price. Simply email me and say, hey, Tara, I want, the 30-minute reading, and then we'll go from there, okay? I have with me the Radiant White deck. I have with me the La Vida Sibila. I also have with me the Fin de Cycle, or the Kippers. And we'll stick with, I've already done the Aries reading, so what we'll stick with is we will stick with the Angel Answer cards and the Golden Nostradamus, unless the story requires me to pull something different, so we shall see. I've already done some meditation and shuffling on the Taurus sign and glyph. And I had a card present itself. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the camera around as slowly as I can so we can see the cards. Y'all can see the little area is getting cleaner and cleaner. I'm getting there. So I'm going to let you look at that in just a moment, okay? I'm going to go ahead and do another shuffle and rifle, and then we'll lay the rest of the cards. This will be a 9-card spread, okay? The traditional box spread that everyone knows. We have let me make sure I got it right, a new moon. Where's my moon app? Okay, there it is. We have a new moon coming up on, actually, forgive me. We just had the new moon in Capricorn on the 21st of, no, actually, let me back up because I don't even know what day it is. Okay, it's January 17th. So we have a new moon falling in Capricorn on the 21st of January. And then there's going to be a full moon on the 5th of February in the sign of Leo. Okay, and I always like to give the moon positions and what signs are going to be falling in. Moons are pretty important in many ways. I don't have time to go into it now, but all right, so one more rifle and shuffle. Keep that in mind, okay, the new moon and the full moon dates. Here is our last rifle. For those of you who are new to my channel, I do not read cards, I read energies. Okay, so there may be something you don't understand or something that you don't agree with, but this is really based on intuitive knowledge, what I'm picking up, and sometimes I will refer to the book that I wrote. So here we go. It is the reverse 9 of Cups. Now, those of you who have been with me for a while know I don't read reverse cards. They simply don't speak to me. So I'm going to end up turning that card around eventually so it can all make sense. But we know that it is reversed. Let me cut the deck and we'll lay the rest of the cards. Oh, well, the 2 of Wands. That's interesting. The King of Pentacles. There is our Taurian energy. Now, whether this is you are male or female, same-sex, heterosexual, we can all embody the energies of a king, okay? If you take the male role, this is you embodying the energy of the male king. Next row, the 10 of Swords. Well, the King of Swords. Well, now I have two kings. The Empress card. That's interesting. Last row down. Wow. The High Priestess. So now I have two twos. The Empress is a 2, and we have the 2 of Wands. And it's always important when numbers repeat themselves in the tarot. The 5 of Swords. And the Tower card. Well, I don't even know what to make of this. Okay, so what is the energy over the entire reading? Well, excuse me, the 4 of Pentacles. That's interesting to me. Now, this reverse 9 of Cups. Well, before I start, let me tell you what I have. I have 1 cup, 1 wand, 2 swords, 2 kings, and 1, 2, 3 major arcana in the spread itself. And everything is happening around this King of Swords. So let's start there. The King of Swords typically refers to the sign of Aquarius. Okay, it represents Aquarian energy. But because this is general, the person can also be a Gemini or Libra. All right. As a situation, this king will generally may work as a surgeon, an oral surgeon, a dentist, a chef, a fireman, not a fireman, a policeman or a soldier. He can represent someone who's in research. He can represent someone who's a scientist, an editor, a writer, any kind of profession where either sharp tools or keen intellect is needed to get the job done. As an energy, this king typically is someone who is balanced, fair, and rational. He does not allow emotion and or sentiment to interfere with decisions that he has to make or that he makes. In other words, he bases his decision on the facts and the circumstances. As a negative or reverse energy, this king can be someone who's very, very difficult to deal with. It is their way or the highway mentally. They may think they or feel that they are mentally superior to other people. They can be quite cold and dispassionate. So I'm not exactly sure necessarily who this king is or what he's all about. But as we can see, everything is going on around him. Now, 2 kings normally will represent ideas, projects, business meetings, things of that nature. And typically it's something that's good. But past, present, future interplay of the cards. Now, this reverse 9 of Cups, I wrote down some of the keywords for the reverse 9 of Cups, and it can be complacency, poor judgment, vanity, mistakes and errors, even false optimism. Okay, so now that I've gotten that out of the way, let me turn it back right side up so that I can now know exactly, I can hear the cards speak to me. What this appears to be to me is that someone has made a decision, and when I say the past or the near past, this could be yesterday or it could be 3 months ago. And when I say the future, this could be tomorrow or 3 months from now. Okay, so time is not linear construct when we're dealing with the tarot. So in the near or distant past, someone has made, I think, a fatal error in judgment. And when I say fatal, I don't mean like it's the death knell, but in a sense, it kind of is. To me, the 10 of Swords is a card about feeling as though you've been ambushed. Someone stabbing you in the back. The rug has been pulled out from under you. in effect, it's overkill, right? And what I mean by that is you don't need 10 swords to kill somebody. You only need one really well-placed sword. But this could also be a mental energy, because that's what the swords represent. Thoughts, belief, perceptions, ideas, and communication. Even if this is the self-talk that we give to ourselves. But this card also says that it's the quote-unquote darkest before the dawn. It is a 10. It is a changing energy. So the crisis point has been reached. Things will, or perhaps may, begin to improve all around. That's not always true, depending on the actions, I think, of either yourself or other people. It can also be an indication that there may be some travel around water, by water, near water. Okay, let's keep that in mind. And then we come down to the High Priestess. Now, what I find to be interesting is there are only 2 females in the major arcana of the tarot, and one follows the other. Okay? Now, you can't really tell, but her gown, which turns somewhat into a river of water, appears over here on the right side of the Empress. This is a more inward, internal feminine energy. This is a more outward facing. Okay, this where the internal begins to manifest itself into the external world. This figure, female, is pregnant. This figure implies that she is a nun, maybe chaste. She represents the moon. The pomegranates there in the background speak to seeds. So it is the idea of the womb being fruitful, of bringing forth something. This particular figure sees everything, knows everything, but she may not say or do anything. I don't know if, not the letter B, the letter J. If the letter J is important to you, the letter B is silent here, so the letter J is coming forth. So I don't know if the initial J means anything to you or not. She talks about the idea of trusting whatever your intuition is saying to you. It can be the idea that you're getting hunches or intuitive messages, and whatever the thing is, it is something that obviously is contained within. You have not yet allowed this thing to manifest itself, which is interesting based upon this particular row. The King of Pentacles represents the sign of Taurus, but again, he can be any earth sign. So this could be not just Taurus, but Virgo and or Capricorn. As a situational energy, he's going to be a banker, a loan officer, a tax, an accountant. He's going to be a business owner in the sense that it's not a business that he inherited from his family, but it's one that he built up with his own, sweat and tears, with his own hands. Can give good business advice, sound business advice, is typically wealthy or well-to-do, let's put it that way. So the individual can hold, can be associated with the land. As you can, Taurus rules the land and agriculture. And so, but it's also the physical third dimension. In his negative, he can be someone who is quite depraved, selfish, materialistic, money hungry. Okay, I don't know, they feel as though they are 2 separate individuals, but this could also be, this is a Taurus reading, this could be the 2 different aspects of yourself. What it is that you are doing and how you are doing it, and what are your thoughts and ideas, plans, and communications about it. Okay, you can't have one without the other. In the center up here, I have the 2 of Wands on this row. And so because this card says there's been some complacency or errors in judgment, it's based upon some kind of decision. That's what 2s represent. 2s represent the idea of a decision, a choice, an opposition. Are you opposed within yourself about something, or is someone actively opposing you? Okay, it says that you've done some work, but now you have to decide, what is left to do. okay? The potential you hold in your hand. The Empress comes up. Now, as a timing, the Empress represents typically, for me, the summertime. Sometimes she can show up as the fall because she is the goddess of agriculture. She represents Ceres. This can also be the idea, she's the archetypal mother of the tarot. These two cards together can sometimes be an indication of someone who is dealing with mental issues. Could be Alzheimer's or dementia even, okay, which could be an indication of perhaps maybe why someone may have made a quote-unquote fatal error in judgment. So I'm not sure if she's a mom. If this is two brothers and this is related as a family issue, maybe there were some issues that came up with about mom, okay, maybe one guy has the money to do something but the other guy's got the ideas. All right. She represents fertility, growth, abundance, nurturing. She also, as the ruler of Venus, talks about right relationships, okay, fairness, harmony, and balance, beauty within those things. There's something else she's trying to tell me. She can sometimes show up when it speaks about negotiations. Venus rules negotiations as one of our personal planets. In order for us to negotiate something and get someone to come along with us, we have to show them the attractiveness of it. What's in it for them? Is it right? Is it fair? Is it balanced? Do we both get what we want? Okay. This High Priestess to me kind of represents the idea of a lot of undercurrents going on here. Hang on one second. I knew she would call me. 1 second. Okay, sorry about that. What was I saying? I was saying that, and if I repeat myself, forgive me. I've just got to pick up where I left off. I was saying that because it appears that someone has made an error in judgment, to me this speaks to undercurrents that are happening, and things coming up from the depths, the surface, about the potential of this, but there's something that we don't know. There's something that we don't see, or it's something that we don't trust. And indeed, the Five of Swords comes. Now, I find what is interesting is that from the 10 to the 5 gives me, it's cut in half. Had I would say that, that it would, because I told you at the beginning, the crisis point has been reached, and indeed it has changed. It turns into this ace here that he's holding, right, from the 10 to the 1. Because it's like this, it tells me in effect that the situation is not over as we would like it to be, or that it will end as we would like it to. If it were this way, I would say yes, indeed, it would end. It would end with a bang, or with a flourish, or with some kind of explosion, perhaps, maybe even violence. But that's not necessarily how that goes, because the cards are falling like this. So this is halved. So it tells me that there's a lot of communication or ideas going on. This could even be the idea of a mental battle, a battle of wills. Okay. The Five of Swords indicates a change. 5 speaks to ups and downs. Sometimes delays, obstacles, arguments, disagreements. It goes back to this idea of making a mistake, making a choice, but the choice turns out to be something incorrect. And so the Five of Swords it speaks about a victory. In other words, someone has won this particular round of the battle, okay? But there's the warning that be careful with that energy, because both parties will stoop to any level to win. But it speaks about, in terms of a victory, it speaks to the idea that sometimes you have to, challenge people, maybe on a mental level or verbal level, so that you can get all the facts. It can also be this idea that you might have to defend yourself in some way, okay? So it says to me that if you've been arguing with two people, that at the moment they've given up. Doesn't mean that it's over, because it's a 5, right? There's still going to be a bit more to go through. We have to get all the way back up to the 10. So it's kind of out of sequence here. There's something else this card's trying to tell me. I get the sense this card can sometimes presage a breakup or a separation in any type of relationship. So this could be a friendship, a romantic relationship, a business partnership. I get the sense that someone perhaps now is rethinking the idea, maybe I should not have said that. The reason why I say that is there are two swords here over his shoulders. I said that, but this one's at the rest. Maybe I shouldn't have said the other thing or think the other thing. But then it ends with the Tower card, which is a huge energy. The Tower card simply speaks about the idea of something happening unexpectedly. And I have seen this card show up when someone has an emotional outburst. And whatever is said kind of knocks and rocks everybody, right? It shakes the foundation of whatever this thing is. But what the Tower card really is about is the idea of the structures that we build up for ourselves and our lives, things that we think are permanent that are actually not. So this is jobs, social positions, friendships, relationships, partnerships, all these things that we think are safe and are secure, which are actually not. The lightning at the top can be this aha moment, this epiphany. So sometimes this is ideas coming out of the blue. But in this sense, it feels like something that just kind of rocks you to your core. Again, that idea of having the rug pulled out from under you and something collapsing that meant a lot to you. Okay. However, the beauty about the Tower card and the Uranian energy of it is that once everything has fallen to the ground, once the rubble has settled and the smoke and the dust has cleared, you are now left with an open field upon which to build. You can rebuild whatever this thing is, but after having learned the lessons of the past. Now, the Four of Pentacles, the overall energy about this, the Four of Pentacles talks about being in a safe and secure place at the moment, okay? So this could be in a financial sense. You've got money, you can pay your bills, you've got a decent place to live, you can eat, you've got a car, you've got a job. But the card can also be the idea of hanging on to something too tightly. It can represent a stagnation energy. So this could be someone who's being selfish and greedy and not wanting to share. So I'm not exactly sure how this card is playing out. So I think if I had to pick, I'm not going to pick anything just yet. Let me see. I'm going to turn these two cards over because traditionally they represent people. I still don't know if this is, it feels like two different people. It doesn't feel like two different aspects of yourself. It feels like two different people who not necessarily are at war, but are having a battle of wills or clash of wills or some type of disagreement. I don't know if this is a familial relationship here with these images of women and children and mothers. So I don't know if there's a familial relationship here between these two kings. And so what does that leave me? It leaves me the reverse Nine of Cups, the Two of Wands, the 10, the 5, as they relate to these three major arcana cards. So the first thing I want to do is give a bit more information about the reverse Nine of Cups. Because as I said, it's just not talking to me. And in general, the card really doesn't have a whole lot to say. Except it's about hopes, wishes, and dreams. Things coming true. But that can also be a warning about be careful what you wish for. Okay? So let me get over to the Nine of Cups reversed. And let's take a look at a few interpretations. It speaks about complacency. It warns you that all may not be as it seems. This card. Situations may not be as secure as you assume, and friendships not as close as you like. It can indicate that you, or maybe someone else, has been selfish and careless in victory. Okay? Leading to mistakes being made. It may also be an indication that your wishes will not be coming to fruition at this time. It can be telling of insufficient funds for a personal need or project, or that plans will not go accordingly due to insufficient funds. You will have to wait for a more auspicious circumstance and better timing. It may be a warning to be careful of what you wish for, as you may get it. So it asks that you be extremely careful about what you ask for and be absolutely positive of what you really want. But it can also be an indication that someone is directly interfering with the good fortune that is meant to be heading your way. This may be from within or from an outside source. And it speaks about a reluctance to enjoy the moment, with fears of future poverty and fears of success both being present. Okay? Does it tell me anything next to these cards? It does not. Okay? That could be this idea of waiting for more auspicious circumstances here, or someone directly interfering with whatever it is that you're trying to do. 2 of Wands. It is a message with the Empress. It is a message, where am I? It is a message that opportunities are abound and opportunity is imminent. So establish yourself and set ideas into motion. The message is to sort out problems as soon as they arise. Well, I don't know if this is a case of someone clamming up and not wanting to discuss it, which leads to fights and outbursts. I'm not exactly sure here. Let's look at the 10 of Swords. We're going to take a look. I'll have to pick out the cards, but we'll take a look with something. Nothing about the 10 of Swords here. So we move now to the 5. The problem seems to, it doesn't go away. It may simply reshape itself. I don't know if that makes any sense. The 5 of Swords tells me nothing. Okay? So, this is really kind of a mystery to me. And I would suppose, if I had to, we will start with the reverse 9 of Cups. What is this really about? Because as you can see, the reverse 9 of Cups falls on the line with the King of Coins. He touches the King of Swords and the Tower card. But he also, this card, it pretty much touches everything here. This King of Pentacles is associated with the 10 and the Tower. So, and all the cards touch upon the King of Swords. So that's really quite interesting. I'm going to start with this 9 of Cups here to see perhaps if the Sibyllus can give me some indication as to what this is about. Now, remember, the cups are not always about love. The cups are about emotions, how you feel about something. And the fact that these cups are reversed, it tells me that there's an empty feeling associated with this. There is something that is missing. I don't know if 9 months comes up. Again, this letter J, so I don't know if one of these figures here, the letter J may be important to one of these two figures here. The Vedevo, the Sospiri, wow, and the Pensiero. So the Vedevo speaks to someone who, if we just look at the image, it speaks to someone who just kind of gets up and goes through the motions. They are mourning the loss of someone or something important to them. And basically, you know, they can get up and go get dressed and visit the graveyard, so to speak. But in other words, they're kind of absent. So this could be the idea of someone who doesn't know how to love, or it could be someone who just is not a supportive individual, okay? The idea of absence in the sense that the person is just not there. So it could be this, it speaks to separations, divorces, arguments, dissension. Someone has removed their support from you. They pull the rug out from under you. Again, that comes across with this. But what I find interesting is that the next card is the Suspirity, tears and anxiety. And this card is associated with the idea that you feel as though an opportunity or a moment may have passed you by. Okay, as evidenced by the ship sailing and the woman holding the handkerchief there. But more importantly, what this card speaks about is something being projected into the future. So it talks about discordant energies, that the timing not necessarily being right, even though you may think that the opportunity has passed you by. So it is this fear of something being projected into the future. And at the moment, this is someone thinking about that. So I do agree with this idea that the timing is off. You're not going to get what you want or the manner in which you want it. Your wish is not going to come true. For some of you, it will actually be careful what you wish for, because you're going to end up getting it. So I would venture to say that you should give take a moment to step back. You will have to revisit this situation again. It is not over and done with. Okay. I want to pull cards on this High Priestess, because she sits in a very important position in the spread. She is the last card down in the past column, but the first card out in the future row. Okay. There's something else I think she's trying to tell me, and perhaps the Sibyllus will be able to illuminate us on this. The Leggerezza. The desperate jealousy. Wow. And the Speranza. Now remember when I said to you at the beginning, there's something about the situation we don't know yet. Okay. And I stand by that. The Leggerezza is known as the carefree card or the carelessness card. And in this instance, what this card is saying is that someone has misjudged or miscalculated either a person or a situation through carelessness, complacency, wrong error of judgment, incorrect, an error of judgment, a mistake. Okay, this is one that in effect could kind of lead you to your ruin, whatever that may mean for you. But it also warns that there is danger coming from your circle of acquaintances. Okay, you're about to trust someone that you should not. So I've seen this card show up when it speaks about trouble with the law. He can sometimes represent a police officer. Okay, he is kind of Mars incarnate, the god of war. You anger this guy, he's going to do everything he can in his power. He's going to outwit you, is what he's going to do. Okay, and then we have the Speranza card here. And this card says, basically, it speaks about suffering, that suffering's about to end, so hang in there. It gives you hope and light at the end of the tunnel. But I dare say, as I say here, the Five of Swords says that this will be revisited. It will be revisited. It is not over. So that leads me to the idea of the Tower card, because that is our outgoing energy. I think Uranus will be turning direct. Let me check here. I think he's been I have a article coming out on my Substack tomorrow, I do believe, about the change in energy that is about to come up. And it's big because in a moment it will be all 10 planets will be direct. So let me see where Uranus is. That's right, he's retrograde in the sign of Taurus. He will be going direct sometime soon. You'll wait for the article to come out tomorrow. You can sign up to my Substack by clicking on the link there in the art channel art, the top of my channel, so you can get this. Let's see what the Tower has to tell us. And so that could be one of those things. And this could really be a major change in I don't know, land holdings, or a change in finances, a change in business here. Okay. I don't do financial readings. I don't do readings on inheritances, crypto, stocks and bonds. I'm a tarot card reader. I'm not a financial advisor. Okay. This guy could be, though. The letter. News coming. Sudden and out of the blue. Unexpectedly. Theft or losses. Wow. Of something quite precious to you. Okay. This can, well, that's quite interesting. Let me give you the meaning of the precious presence. It is the 3 of diamonds. I think my daughter just pulled up, and I have the... Yes, be right back. Okay. It represents luxury goods, antiques, objects of considerable value. It indicates prosperity, opportunities, and career advancements, usually thanks to a recommendation or the patronage of an influential person. Here's next to, I don't know what number that is. It can represent precious advice given to you. In financial matters, it is extremely positive in that it heralds a prosperous business, career advancement, advantageous business proposals, and subsequent wealth. But we see that this is stolen. The news comes. Here is the thief, and you never ever want to see the thief in conjunction with, because it could be theft of your business or in your business. I think he's the 6. 1 second. So this is a warning here. If you plan on going into business with someone, you may want to be cautious. He's not the 6. He is the 9. No, he is the 10. Yes. It heralds a negative change and a sudden turn of events for the worse. The event is caused by the presence of ill-intentioned people near you. It also indicates a loss of any kind. But it can also indicate a condition of mental, emotional, physical, or financial drain. Something that is a very taxing situation. It can, of course, include burglaries and thefts of all kinds. On an emotional level, this card refers to betrayal and treachery. It indicates all those practices that steal something from the soul. So on a spiritual level, it is connected with the idea of spiritual deprivation and represents demeaning situations, immoral practices, or being forced to do something under duress, either mental or physical. Financially, it is a turbo card, for it heralds a theft, the loss of money, loan sharks, extortions, money laundering, and business offers that will be revoked, illegal activities, or obtaining things by deception, including Ponzi schemes and swindles. Well, trying to see if there's any other information. The letter simply is an indication that the news will be coming. And the letter can be, because these are 14th century cards, so this literally could be a letter, like a certified mail, a package delivered that you have to sign for. It could be an email, text, a phone call, a fax, any way that information, it can even be an indication of you getting the news over television or radio. Okay, so we see that happening here, and I would suggest or say particularly here with the Four of Pentacles, that if you have not gone forward, if you have not moved yet, perhaps you need to stop or slow down, okay, before you, because right after this is the Five of Pentacles, and it indicates poverty. Okay, and so to me, this is most definitely some type of business deal, some type of business proposition. For all intents and purposes, you know, it may be this idea that things, they think everything is going okay in future, but something changes. And it could very well be this idea of Uranus going direct in Taurus. Let me see if I can find that for you right quick. Hold on one second to give you this information. Let me put my chart in motion here. Soon. He goes direct soon. He moves direct on the 23rd of January. So a few days after our new moon. 2 days after the new moon in Capricorn. So this could be literally a change in social status, position, finances, ownership of things. That's quite an interesting reading. So let me formulate a question for the angel answer cards. So this is a warning. So as I say, you can be female and this could still be you. So if this is a business venture that you're going into with another person, the cards I think are forewarning you that one of you has miscalculated something. The cards are not extremely specific. That is not their role. Oh my God, it says let go. So formulate a question. Formulate a question for the Golden Nostradamus. The let go card. And sometimes it just may be a situation where there's nothing for you to do but let go. Because as I say, it's going to be revisited. Here, the crisis point has been reached. We assume that everything's going great, and then no. So there are undercurrents here. And it goes back to the idea that I think one of you has realized that there's been a mistake, and you're hoping against hope that everything goes okay. The reverse 9 of Cups. The fish, number 25. Now, in olden times, the fish represented wealth and prosperity, finances. Okay, so we'll start with let go. The time has come to let go of this situation. Stop focusing on how or when it will be solved or even why it occurred. Relationships that are unhealthy or unfulfilling should be released in order to allow something better to come along. But don't worry, your angels have everything under control. A key aspect to manifesting your desires is to ask for what you want and then to release it to heaven. If you have drawn this card, you may be holding on too tightly to the way your dreams will unfold. Make a wish and then leave the rest to your angels. That's quite interesting. And then we come to the fish. Once you have let the gossip fly, these tales you can never again belie. Silence will bring counsel and will not expose you to the attacks of others. Stop often and think. Stand still and reflect quietly. It will lead to the discovery of the right path to be taken. Well, I wish I had better news for you, Taurus. But, you know, I don't. I'm sorry about that. So that is what I have for you for February 2023. And listen, if you're out there and you just saw this reading, do not assume that this situation will happen this way for you. It really does. You really do have to get a personal reading to take a look specifically at what is happening for you. But most definitely, on the whole, it says that, you know, something is not going to go the way that you want it. You have either miscalculated or misjudged either the person or the situation. This could be due to, complacency, being lazy, or just simply making an error. It does happen. I don't think it's the end all to be all, but it looks to be something quite important that, in a sense, will collapse. Whatever you thought was solid and secure, this event comes to show you that it was not. You can still rebuild, but rebuild from a place of learning the lessons of the past, whatever this situation is about. So until next time, be well, stay safe, and namaste. Bye.